All right, so we're going to take a deep dive into the life and legacy of Amir Abdur-Rahim,
Yeah.
a name that's been, kind of echoing through the basketball world really since his passing recently.
Mm,
And, you've brought some articles about his career, the impact he had, both on and off the court,
right.
and a particularly moving tribute from a BYU coach who knew him quite well.
hmm
So let's kind of explore this and see what made him so special.
It's easy to look at the, wins and losses.
Right.
And he certainly had those.
Yeah.
But Abdur-Rahim's story, it's really a story about transformation.
Oh, okay.
Think about this. He takes over at Kennesaw State,
Yeah.
a program that had only won a single game the season before.
Wow.
And just a few years later, they're not only winning,
Right.
but they're making it to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's right. And they didn't just show up. They
Yeah.
almost upset Xavier, a 3 seed.
Exactly.
What I think is so fascinating about this wasn't some fluke, right?
He goes on to South Florida,
Mm-hmm.
a program with, its own set of struggles.
Right.
And he repeats the Magic
Yeah.
Conference title program record for wins.
Mm-hmm.
Even a spot in the AP Top 25.
Yep.
All firsts for South Florida.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting. You start to see a pattern.
Okay.
It wasn't just X's and O's.
Right.
Abdur-Rahim was a master at building a culture,
Yeah.
creating this sense of belief and belonging that went beyond the court.
Okay.
There's a quote from him about Kennesaw State being on the cusp of something special
Oh, yeah.
that really captures his vision.
Yeah.
He didn't just inherit teams, he built programs.
And it seems like that ability to connect with people,
Right.
to inspire them, went far beyond just strategy.
Yeah.
The tributes that we have from players, colleagues, and even opposing coaches
Mm-hmm.
paint a picture of someone who was, deeply respected and admired for his character as
Right.
much as his coaching.
Absolutely, that tribute from Justin Young.
The BYU coach who grew up with him in
Mhm.
Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
is particularly powerful.
Right.
He calls Abdur-Rahim a force for good.
Wow.
When you have someone who knew him from childhood,
Yeah.
speaking about him in those terms,
Yeah.
it really speaks to the kind of impact
Right.
he had on people's lives.
It's clear he had this unique ability to bring people together to make them believe in something bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
And it makes his passing at such a young age, only 43,
Right.
even more tragic.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder what else he could have accomplished both on and off the court.
Yeah. And it's fascinating because, while we can mourn the loss, we can also learn from his approach.
Okay.
How did he create this culture of success?
Yeah.
This sense of family within his teams?
Right.
That's something we can unpack further as we dive deeper into,
Yeah.
his methods and his philosophies.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
So we've kind of established that Abdur-Rahim was much more than just a coach who, racked up wins.
Right.
He was a builder, a culture
Yeah.
creator.
Right.
How did he actually do it?
Well, one thing that really jumps out from these articles is his focus on discipline and accountability,
Okay.
but not in this harsh authoritarian way.
Yeah.
He seemed to understand that to get players to buy in,
Right.
you need to create a system where they feel ownership.
Okay.
And there's a story about how he implemented this thing called the Culture Club at Kennesaw State.
Culture club.
Yeah.
That sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, it wasn't about music, that's for sure.
Okay.
It was a group of players selected by their teammates,
Okay.
representing different classes and positions,
About it.
who would meet regularly with Abdur-Rahim
Okay.
to discuss team issues, goals, even things happening off the court.
Wow.
It was a way to give the players a voice,
Yeah.
to make them active participants in shaping the team culture.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like he understood that true leadership isn't about barking orders.
Right.
It's about empowering others to lead themselves.
Exactly.
No wonder his players responded so well to him.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about, meetings and discussions. Abdur-Rahim really emphasized the importance of community involvement.
Oh?
His teams were actively involved in volunteer work, engaging with the community around them.
Wow.
This wasn't just about building a basketball program.
Yeah.
It was about building something bigger,
Right.
something with a real purpose.
It's striking how this approach is reflected in his coaching style, too.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some analysis here about his time at South Florida.
Yeah.
And it points out that he wasn't married to any specific system.
Interesting.
He adapted his offense and defense to the talent he had,
Okay.
but always with this emphasis on player development,
Yeah.
both on and off the court.
It's like he recognized the individuality of each player
Yeah.
Their strengths, their weaknesses,
Right.
and created a framework that allowed them to flourish.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mark of a truly great coach.
Yeah.
Not just teaching skills, but
Mhm.
nurturing potential. And it's no surprise that so many of his players went on to have successful careers, even beyond basketball.
It's clear that Abdur-Rahim's influence went far beyond the game itself. He was shaping lives,
Yeah.
instilling values,
Right.
preparing his players for success in all aspects of their lives.
Absolutely.
It's no wonder he's being remembered as much for his character as for his coaching record.
And that's what makes his story so compelling.
Right.
He wasn't just chasing wins.
Yeah.
He was building something meaningful,
Right.
something that would have a lasting impact on everyone he touched.
Yeah.
And that's a legacy worth exploring.
We've talked about his coaching strategies, his focus on culture.
Right.
But what really sticks with me are the individual stories, the personal connections that really kind of reveal the heart of this man.
Absolutely. And those moments, those human interactions, that Abdur-Rahim's legacy truly comes alive.
Yeah, and one that really stands out to me is his relationship with Anthony Edwards.
Right.
This is a, top recruit. He helped bring to Georgia a future NBA star.
Yep.
Abdur-Rahim, accepts the head coaching job at South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of coaches at that point would be focused on their new team,
Right.
Building those relationships.
Exactly.
But Abdur-Rahim does something pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
He calls Edwards,
Wow.
not to recruit him again,
Right.
but to ask for his blessing.
That speaks volumes about his character.
Wow, yeah. You've got this young man with a bright future ahead of him,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes the time to seek the approval of a player he's no longer coaching.
Right.
It shows a level of humility and respect.
Absolutely.
It's not often seen in the, cutthroat world of college basketball.
And it wasn't just a one-off gesture.
Right.
These articles are filled with similar stories.
Yeah.
Players talking about how he was a mentor, a father figure,
Right.
someone who genuinely cared about their well-being.
Right.
Even years after they left his program, it's clear that he understood the impact he had on these young men.
Mm-hmm.
And he took that responsibility very seriously.
There's a quote from him that really struck me.
Oh, yeah.
He said, "There are people that have been here that care about this program.
Mm-hmm.
It was a place with no identity,
Right.
but it was on the cusp of being able to do something real special."
Wow.
He was talking about Kennesaw State,
Yeah.
but I think it speaks to his overall philosophy.
Right.
He saw the potential in people and programs, even when others didn't,
Right.
and he dedicated himself to helping them reach that potential.
It's a powerful reminder that leadership isn't just about achieving your own goals.
Mm-hmm.
It's about empowering others to achieve theirs.
Right.
And it's about leaving things better than you found them.
Yeah.
Abdur-Rahim's legacy is a testament to that belief.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the life of Amir Abdur-Rahim, I'm left with a sense of profound respect for the man and the legacy he leaves behind. He was a winner, yes, but more importantly, he was a builder, a mentor, and a true inspiration.
Right.
His story, I think, challenges us to think about our own impact on the world,
Yeah.
on the lives of those around us.
It's a reminder that true success isn't just measured by wins and losses,
Right.
but by the lives we touch and the difference we make.
Absolutely.
Abdur-Rahim's story encourages us to strive for something greater than ourselves, to build something meaningful,
Yeah.
and to leave the world a better place than we found it.
Well said, Joe.